come slow at the beginning and then pick it up. Because generally the crowd gets into it, and so it's hard to block that noise out. But we were able to play. Fortunately, we started a little slow, but I think stepped it up more. And that really had more to do with the fact that we didn't start the normal starting point guard. And KK is doing a great job. She does understand what's going on. But she is a freshman, and what's key is that we just seem to be a little just out of sync for whatever reason. But it looked better with Brianna because she can make those passes she sees. And there's a difference between a freshman and a senior. So it was good that it happened here. Let's say it like
that. Khalid, you started off the game, I think, 7 points in the first half and then 12 in the second. You seemed to pick your game up as you got more rebounds and the game wore on. You've talked in previous meetings about how getting to the glass kind of gets your motor going a little bit offensively. Do you think that was the case tonight?
Yeah, I think, yeah, getting rebounds and just putbacks, and that just give me easy points, and then I can just go from there.
David, can you just assess where you're at? I guess it's kind of like the midway point of the season. Happy with where you're at right now?
Yeah. We've continued to make a steady improvement. I think that we're pretty consistent in terms of our ability to pick up what motivates, what drives us, and probably more important is their ability within themselves to push each other. I thought that in the Virgin Islands we had some great competition with Wisconsin, with Virginia, and I thought that they found a way to get it done. And when that happens, you know, you're looking for ways, but they're looking for ways as well. I know that they're thinking. There were some couple patterns that they were saying to me, we need to do this, because they saw that, and I had a smile to myself, because I love it when they're able to think, because there's nothing that they have to do. We just give them a way to get started, and then they need to be basketball players and read. So I don't know that would have happened at the beginning, but they feel comfortable in making those decisions and doing that. I thought that, for example, one of the things that we probably should have done earlier, not probably, when we were playing the last game that we were playing, and we could have, Iowa, yeah. Yeah, is to pick up the pressure a little bit earlier, you know. But sometimes I'll think that because they may have played so hard, or it seems like we're just a little slow getting to the cuts that we need to, that I would prefer not to. But on the other hand, when they're driven within themselves, you know, you get that adrenaline that you wonder where it comes from, because we realize that that's the only way we can get back. And so I'll listen to it. If we think that we can get it, then they're going to be asking to step it up. And I think most teams will give it up if we play the way that we're capable of doing it.
Tyler, do you think there's any difference playing at home as opposed to on the road? You've won 7 games in a row at home. Especially in the second half, you guys seem to come alive at home. Is there anything to that?
Well, I think we have a really great crowd, and when we get the crowd behind us and they get the cheering for us and doing the chant, it kind of energizes us to play even harder.
Sharita, I thought that was a huge three, I think in the early third quarter. Just telling you about your outside shot, clearly it seems like when you can hit that, it adds so much to the offense. Like, kind of where you think your three has the progress of your shot and, you know, where you want it to be.
Well, lately I haven't really been hitting from behind the arc, but I've been really working on it. So I'm just keep working on it and do what I can do.
Let me say this: Sharita is capable of hitting that shot. I think she hasn't been hitting it well recently. But didn't you work with Coach Kelly yesterday?
No, I was working by myself.
You were working by yourself, okay. But anyway, I've asked her to work with Sharita on the three, so that she's feeling more comfortable. Because yes, it would help. Well, the other thing we need is we need to make sure that we're getting an opportunity to rotate. So maybe we started on the right, knowing that she's on the left, but everybody's had an opportunity to touch it. And when that happens, you're much more comfortable, shooting it, rather than to have that first shot that's coming to you, and that's the first three, because you're not giving everybody else an opportunity. I think that what you saw today is you noticed that Rachel was double and triple teamed. All the posts were double and triple teamed. So what happened is they left the baselines free. And so what we try to do is put the shooters down there, and even to that extent, put someone like Kai who will take the drive, not making the pass, take the drive, as well as Tyler or Sharita that's on the baseline. So I suspect that there's going to be some other teams that are going to do something very similar to that.
Khalid, a similar question to what I asked Coach before. Big picture wise, 11-4 at this point, 2-1 Big Ten. Is this satisfied? Not satisfied with where you're at right now?
We're never satisfied. I think that we're just gonna continue to come out and compete with every team in the Big Ten, and I think that we're not gonna be satisfied until we win the championship.
What do you think about the next matchup you have coming up on Sunday?
I'm just ready to come out and we just ready to come out and compete.
Another Big Ten matchup, just another team in another jersey, or
Just another team with not a Rutgers jersey, so we're just coming out and ready to compete.
sure do you feel like you're getting more comfortable in the starting lineup? I think this was your 6th start of the year, a couple in a row, I believe.
Yeah, I think her starting me is just helping me get more comfortable and playing the way that I play, and knowing that next year we're not going to have Kai and Bree and Rachel, so I'm starting to learn and get comfortable with playing with Tyler, so that will help us next year.
Coach, you know the difference between the starts and between the start of the game and the start of the second half? We both went on 11-2 runs, and we kind of took control after this second half.
What's the difference between the first half and the second half?
You have like a start to the first half and the start of the second half. You were down and then you took control of the game.
I think we know the importance of the first 5 minutes of the beginning of the game, or in this case, the first 5 minutes, that's there. But there's other things that we can do. One of which we were bound to start better in the second half, simply because Bree was starting, and we had a flavor in the second half. She's a little bigger guard, so she's not going to over-penetrate and find people over top of her. And these guys will look for each other a little bit better in terms of knocking shots down. But, the defense, we picked it up, on the 55. I didn't think that if we had played the 55 the way we were capable, maybe started a little earlier, we could have created some real doubt in our minds defensively with what had to happen. But clearly what the difference is in the second half, we were much more aggressive, putting a lot more pressure on the ball. We didn't the first half, and I'm not sure why. We just seemed really, really, really hesitant. And obviously, I don't think that you want to discount, and I don't know how many rebounds Kai had, but I know she ultimately did. But when she can have those kind of rebounds, I think that people like Tyler and Kai, they have got to offer more than just scoring. You know that they're scoring. They're consistent, very consistent in that. So what we were talking about is, let's at least find two things. So if Kai is going to score, then Kai is now demonstrating that she's also going to be a rebounder as well. So you now have a big guard that's rebounding, and she's scoring. Tyler is committing herself to being that scorer, but also being that assist person. So there's two things that we've got to count on, and they're showing up like that. Rachel, I know that I believe, and it's interesting for me to say this, but I really do believe that if they'd even played two people, even one, I think that she would have been ready, to get the scoring that we needed. So that's a big help, and really, I think that when they look at the tape tomorrow, they're going to appreciate the fact that she got doubled. So people like Sharita, Kai, Bree, the rest of these guys are going to recognize that, hey, even if they don't get the ball, because they're drawing the kind of attention that they are, it gives us an opportunity to score on the outside. So that's why the inside has got to be a part of our game. And people have to take us seriously when it gets down to that. So I'm happy because we have had outstanding guards, as you know, with Benijah, and these two before. But the importance of having one of those people to be inside, legitimately inside, is worth its weight in gold, because that takes them, the pressure off of them, and especially if the post can actually pass it to the outside, and they're able to do that. So that's a great thing. I think that Sharita, obviously I wouldn't play her or start her if I didn't have confidence that she can do. And she is the only player here, other than Kai's going to play two positions, but Sharita is playing the difference between a 4 and a 1, because at one point I had her playing the 1. Few people can do that. Khadijah Reston can do that, and the same thing with Essie. Essie, you would all of a sudden, she could play a post if she had to. And that means offensively and defensively. So there's a lot of information that they're consuming, and they have to understand a lot. There is no one else that has that kind of flexibility in terms of the play. So she has to be in great shape. But by her playing a 4 that allows Kai to get out and play the wing, it doesn't help me to get another guard. It doesn't help me to do that. It helps me to have somebody that has that kind of flexibility, because Kai can go inside and she can go outside. But the same thing with Sharita. We're trying to develop other players to do that. And one of the things that we've been told a number of times when pro coaches come to see the Rutgers guards, they love the fact that our guards are not pigeonholed into one thing. They have tremendous flexibility, and they can play inside, they can play outside, they can post up. And I've referred to a couple of those guys that have done that, already. So it's good, and it's good to see, especially Rachel showing up the way she is now.
For any of you three, defending the guard position, not as much against Iowa, but definitely against Minnesota the last time you were here at the RAC. You shut down Bauman today, 8, just 2 in the second half. Is there some sort of recipe that you're putting together to shut down these big-time guards?
Hold up, let me ask you a question. Who was playing Bauman?
Me.
Who? I intentionally asked that because we knew what kind of scoring she was going to have, and Connor has really embraced the idea of playing defense, and she hadn't before as a freshman. But that's one of the first things she's going to do. Oh, she only got 4 points, so she got 6. So she knows that she can do that. So we just are trying to focus a lot more. The score that you saw tonight, that's typical of the Rutgers players, Rutgers team. That was much more typical. And we just hope to make sure that whoever it is that we're playing, that they're being taken off 15 and 20 points off their scoring average.
Anything that you saw out there tonight, Tyler, that you were able to execute to shut her down?
I tried to make sure she didn't get any open looks. Just kind of kept close to her, and for the most part, I think I did a good job.
Any other questions? Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.